Most people overpay for products like this. Here's why this one is different. I've had the pleasure of playing fretless basses that cost twice as much as the Ibanez SRF705, and I can confidently say that this instrument gives them a run for their money without the sticker shock. The link to check the product details on Amazon is in the description, so feel free to take a look if you're interested. As a bass player, I've always been drawn to the unique sound of fretless basses. There's something magical about the way the strings vibrate against the wood, producing a singing tone that's hard to replicate with fretted instruments. However, my experience with fretless basses has been a mixed bag. I've tried several models over the years, and while some have come close to delivering the tone I'm looking for, they often fall short in one way or another. Either they sound muddy and lacking in definition, or they come with a price tag that's just too steep for my budget. That's why I was so excited to discover the Ibanez SRF705. This bass changed the game for me, and I'm not just saying that because it's a more affordable option. The combination of its mahogany body, Panga Panga fingerboard, and Piezo pickup system makes for a truly exceptional playing experience. The mahogany body, in particular, is a great choice for a fretless bass. It's light enough to gig with comfortably, but still packs a punch in the low end. The brown burst flat finish looks amazing, and it's way more expensive looking than the actual price tag would suggest. One of the things that really impressed me about the SRF705 is the Panga Panga fingerboard. It's smooth and even, with a subtle texture that makes it easy to navigate. I've played basses with fingerboards that required weeks of sanding and breaking in before they felt right, but the Panga Panga wood on this instrument felt great right out of the box. Of course, as with any new instrument, it did take a little time to get used to, but the break-in period was remarkably short. The real surprises, though, was the Piezo pickup system. I've used Piezo pickups before, but never with this level of quality and responsiveness. Plugging straight into my amp, I was amazed at how well the SRF705 captured the fretless growl and tone I was looking for. The Piezo sits right under the bridge, which gives it a crisp attack and tight sustain. I used it at a small venue last weekend, where the stage volume was all over the place, and the Piezo kept the low end from getting lost in the mix. That's a feature I usually only see on high-end, boutique instruments, so finding it on the SRF705 for this price felt like a steal. The neck on the SRF705 is another standout feature. Made from a combination of maple and bobinga, it has a balanced feel that's fast enough for slap runs but still substantial in the hand. I've played basses with necks that are either too slim or too chunky, and this one sits right in the sweet spot. The 5-string layout is also a nice touch, giving me the ability to reach down to B without having to drop tune. That's handy when I'm covering songs that need that extra low end, and it's also great for exploring new musical ideas. One thing I didn't expect was how well the fretless design works with the Piezo pickup system. Usually, fretless basses can sound a little woofy or undefined when you use the Piezo, but the Panga Panga wood on the SRF705 keeps the tone focused and tight. I ran it through a sans amp and a little reverb, and it sounded like a much more expensive instrument. I even used it for a recording session where the producer wanted a fretless tone but didn't want to spend hours dialing in EQ. This bass just sounded good straight out of the box. The 2-pickup setup on the SRF705 is another nice touch. I mostly use the Piezo for that fretless growl, but the magnetic pickup gives me a rounder, more traditional bass tone when I need it. Switching between them is smooth, and the blend knob lets me dial in exactly how much fretless character I want. It's the kind of flexibility that usually costs extra on higher-end models, but it's included as standard on the SRF705. Now, it's not perfect, no instrument is. The Panga Panga fingerboard is beautiful, but it's also a little slippery when you first start playing it. I had to spend a few hours breaking it in before my fingers stopped sliding around, but once it was broken in, it felt amazing. Also, the stock strings that come on it are fine for testing, but if you're serious about fretless tone, you'll want to swap them out for something like a round wound with a flat wound option. That's a small investment, but it makes a noticeable difference in the long run. Overall, though, this bass punches way above its weight. The build quality feels solid, the electronics are versatile, and the price is hard to beat for what you get. If you're curious, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Ibanez SRF705. Check it out and let me know what you think, the link is below.